A Balance of Power. Chapter 7.
Welcome to another chapter of Jaguar Woman. Today is Monday, October 4, 12:59 a.m. here in California, United States. Chapter 7. A Balance of Power. Before I enter the rooms of your solitude in my living form, trailing my shadow, I shall have come unseen, upstairs and down with you, and out across road and rocks to the river, to drink the cold spray. You will believe a bird flew by the window, a wandering bee buzzed in the hallway, a wind rippled the bronze grasses. Or will you know who it is? Denise Levertov, the Presence. I slept that night in a hammock in Zoila's hut. The next day, I helped her in the garden. We played with the children and two new puppies. She showed me how to make a proper tortilla. After dinner, when the village was quiet and the children asleep, she took me out to a flat stone. Leaning her back against a ceiba tree, she laid out some of her altar bundles and unwrapped them. She sang songs and burned incense as she worked. "I have dreamed you. Would you like to know what I see?" she asked me. She seemed to be in a heightened state of tension. "Yes," I replied. "You have a lot to learn, but I think you are sincere with your books. You are giving people another place to go." She paused. "When I say a lot to learn, I mean that you are able to learn it. Your road will let you. You are strong enough to do the thing you feel is right, and you are still very young in your love for femaleness. And I don't mean feminine. The discovery of the firstness of the mother is a very shaman's, well-guarded personal vision. You want everyone to know. And to that I say good luck." She paused a moment. The candlelight flickered across her face, making her eyelids seem to open and then half closed in thought. "Stand," she said. "You have enemies. 3 of them are draggers. They will sidetrack your energies. They resent you and are jealous." She lifted my arms and took a pot of smoking copal and smudged it under my armpits. "Where the sun doesn't look, that's where they try to enter." We sat down again. "Your altar is pulling me," I said, rubbing my heart. "We do not call this an altar, although that is what it is in your own way. We call her the mask or the face of the earth. She attracts you because she is of my dream and my visions, and you feel my friendship with her." We sat for several moments, and then I asked, "Are my enemies serious trouble? Remember that I am divining the problem, not the future. Your 3 enemies are not serious, but there is a man who sings your song in the way that a lover sings for his intended wife. He is on your trail. I see a dead coyote. He has tried to send a dark female spirit, very dark. She has a short black hair, like a man's, and tries to make friends with your spirits. She's like a dead person, not attached to you, but she's chasing you." "What do you mean, like a dead person?" Hackles of fear were edging up my spine. "She is not alive in the physical world, but she wasn't buried properly, so she needs a body that she likes. If she finds that, she may kill that person and then go on to the next body." "Wasn't buried properly?" Now I was scared. "She has to be buried properly," Zoila said. "How do I bury her?" "I don't mean physically dig a hole. You have to pay her debts, and in that way she can be accepted into the other world. She hasn't been accepted because she was not buried well. If you can pay her debts, then you can get her power. That's big medicine." Then she goes on to the other side. "You have to discover what she needs. But how do I do that?" Zoila handed me a small pouch from which dangled a leathered thong with beads at the end. "Here, put a little bit of what's in here in a cup of water before you sleep. Burn some copal. Follow your dreams, you will know. She will make you learn how to fight." I knew that the man on my trail was Red Dog. I had thought coming down to the Yucatan would have thrown him off my scent completely. After the Jaguar ceremony, I knew I was wrong. "Don't worry, my daughter," Zoila said. "You are here now, and I am pleased. Thank you for dreaming me. You will learn the face of the earth soon." After many prayers, she wrapped the objects on the stone altar into many bundles, and the ceremony was over. I left and went back to the hacienda to be with Agnes. I walked into the room and sat down on the bed. I took out the pouch Zoila had given me and emptied some of the contents into my hand. "What do you suppose this is?" I asked Agnes. Agnes came over and held my outstretched palm in both of hers. She smelled the tiny particles of bark and pieces of white leaves carefully. "Smells like herbs to me," she said, pursuing her lips and raising her eyebrows. "Agnes, I know that. But what herbs? Are they going to make me crazy?" "Make you crazy? Huh! That's an impossibility." Agnes looked at me as if I were already nuts and then laughed. I stared at her for a long time and then blurted out, "Do you think Red Dog knows where we are?" It's probable," she was still smiling. "Why are you laughing? This is not funny." "Red Dog isn't funny, but you are. If Red Dog is around, then he knows about our ceremonies. He doesn't know about the ceremonies, but he knows something is going on. Is he really here in the Yucatan?" I placed a pillow over my stomach and returned the herbs to the pouch. "I sense that he is. You saw him in your Jaguar dream, didn't you?" "Yes, I think I did. I don't want to die in the Yucatan," I said. Agnes reached over and took the pouch from me. She rolled it back and forth over her palm, seeming to be lost in thought. I watched her lean and wrinkled face, and it seemed to smooth out younger for several moments. Then she turned away. Finally, she said, "This is serious. Red Dog needs you now. He thinks he's on the trail of something big, and he knows you can lead him to it. The spirit that Zoila saw, she's out there, but she's of no danger yet, and may never be. She's waiting for him to send her. He could change his mind. She's stalking. Be aware of that like you are of your own death. In that way, she can become a great ally. Just like you, she wants to live. She can live off you, or she can be sent where she belongs. I want that to be your choice. You are no victim. How do I send her where she belongs? If you choose to take her power, you can. You can take her on and learn to bury her. But to bury her, you must learn to fight. To take her on is to make an agreement to fight your own dark side. Bury her is Zoila's way of saying you must war with the devouring woman within yourself. In this instance, another word for war is balance. To balance your dark side with your beauty brings you to your power. But remember, it's your own reflection that you're fighting. Have I not learned to fight? I thought of Manitoba, the scene of a conflict between Red Dog and myself. I had stolen back a marriage basket from him so I could return it to the dreamers, the sacred circle of women elders. In some ways, what do I need to know? That is for your dreams. Zoila is right. You must learn to follow them. It is not for me to tell you. Should I take this tonight? I indicated the pouch. No, she said, handing it back to me. Hold all that we have spoken of. Understand it. You will fear her stalking you, or she may go away. You will know when it's time to dream her. Then take the herbs. Thank you, Agnes. I placed the pouch in my bundle and turned out the lights. I curled into my bed and looked into the darkness for several minutes. Are all of these women part of the Sisterhood of the Shields, Agnes? Sometimes I feel like the sisterhood doesn't really exist. Why is that? Because whenever we meet, it's like a dream. Everything becomes so powerful and extraordinary. Then I am so knocked out that I sleep for a day. When I wake up, I I've had remarkable dreams, and I don't know what is real and what is illusion. Is that so? Agnes chuckled. Yes, for instance, who owns this hacienda? The sisterhood is not a club, Lynn. The sisterhood exists only in terms of self-realization. We don't have scheduled meetings, but we meet. It's not a sorority or a bridge party. We don't elect representatives. We assume power. You are here, and that should be sufficient for you to understand its validity. Sometimes, a sister falls from the path and is left with only glimpses of what she experienced. She doubts the sisterhood and goes so far to say that she was self-deceived. When you hear a sister discussing her place and prestige within us, you will know that she is dancing on the rim of forgetfulness. She is going off on her long sleep and will probably never return. Any woman can belong to the sisterhood, Lynn. Many spend their lifetime in search of us and never find anything but their own meandering trail. Others come into our midst without the slightest effort. If a woman were to ask me if I were a member of the sisterhood, I could answer in all honesty, no, because what I would mean by the sisterhood and what she would mean by the sisterhood would be two entirely different things. Go to sleep now. Good night, Agnes. That night, I dreamed I was standing on a lava cliff overlooking the ocean. The moon shone like pieces of silver mica on the water. The waves rolled in with long, heavy swells, breaking over the rocks in great sprays of white foam. Ruby Plenty Chief stood with me holding my hand. We dove off the cliff into the surf. She still held my hands as she swam down deep into the sea. We could breathe and were comfortable as we turned beneath the waves. We were as night passing through an underworld of primordial fish. I heard a creation chant being uttered. It is the God who enters, not as human does he enter. I was following Ruby swimming in slow, undulating movements as we were both turning into one great sea serpent. We became a serpent and caused the waters to recede. I felt the union of the earth and the skies, and we as woman spirits united with the earth's substance, and the first people were born. I awoke early the next morning, feeling like I was still floating in the womb of the sea, feeling like Ruby had held me all night long with the comforting arms of a mother. I thought about blind Ruby for a long time that morning. She had been a medicine woman for me and had taught me about the ancient knowledge of shield making. Her people called her the keeper of the face. She had dreamed me last night and given me a medicine dream. She had taught me something about the balance between male and female. When I told Agnes about it, I had to laugh, because Ruby had truly comforted my fear away in the dream. Usually she terrified me beyond speech. I thought of the first time I had ever seen her. She had stood on the wooden porch of her cabin, brandishing a butcher knife. Her blind eyes, angry and shining like the blue eyes of a Malamute at bay, and ordered me to help her skin out 2 deer that lay at her feet. Perhaps she would join us in the Yucatan. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another chapter. I know I'll be taking some time to upload, which from now on, I'm gonna try to post and upload every day. Sometimes it's hard to stay focused because of a lot of different life scenarios, but that's part of the game of life, right? So please stay tuned. I'm gonna start uploading more and more and more and regain focus. Thank you guys, and wherever you guys are, I wish you guys the best, wish you guys luck, and keep your heads up. You guys are not alone. The Spirit walks with us. Bye.